Hi everyone. Uh, it's good to be back through my podcast, and I wish you all a very, very happy new year. I hope the year sees you in good health as well as in great spirits. Now, this year I've decided that when I do my audio podcast, I'm going to reply to one of the queries or questions sent over to me by one of my students. And I'm just going to give a response thinking on what I would have done if I was in your position. So you may find it helpful, right? And this would be the series of audio messages that I'm going to do this year. So today's first message is from a student who has said that, recently he or she was sitting in a group and, uh, cracking NEET PG has been a tough thing for him or her, and his group of friends suddenly commented that he is the reason or a very good example why someone should not opt for MBBS. And, my dear student was taken aback by the statement, and ever since, you know, he could not get the courage of getting back on his toes and working on it. So, yes, I'm sure each one of us has been through these situations in life where people have said really rude things to us, either as sarcasm or, they would say it was just a joke, but it hits you hard, right? And sometimes it hits you so hard that you're unable to get it out of your system. It affects your uh, entire day, and sometimes more than a day, it keeps coming back to you over and over again. So, what are you going to do when you are in this situation? Now, there are different people who can respond in different ways. So, there are certain ones who get very offensive, and at that very moment, they want to reply back. But there are others who are sort of not uh, very, very aggressive in giving replies, and they would just sit back and listen to things, and then sort of keep reminding themselves about harsh things that have been said to people. So, as I said, there are really two ways of getting it out of your system. One, you bounce back at that very moment, you think of a witty answer, you tell them something in return, but that is more like a reaction that gives your enemies even more power to crush you, right? The moment they know that they can get a response from you, the moment they know that their terms or their language can affect you so much that it can invoke a strong reaction from you, a reaction which can lead to, maybe aggression in terms of words, or maybe physical aggression as well sometimes. Yes. So I would say the first thing is to not give an immediate response. You really don't have to respond to everything that comes your way. Uh, and this holds true for both kind of things. It could be something harsh that has been sent to you, or in other words, it could be something that is really nice that people are trying to say to you, because both can be done for ulterior motives, right? So, the first thing that you need to understand is that you don't have to give a response to everything immediately, right? So, what you need to actually do is just um, take it in, soak it in. And when I say soak it in, what I mean is sit back, think it over, okay? Give it a night. So think it over of what those statements really affect you in what all formats. Now, once you soak it in, the first thing that you get over with is aggression. Yes, angry, you're getting angry. So I think when you get really angry, uh, you show your weak side. Anger uh, is not always a response from people who have a lot of power, right? A lot of times, anger comes from people who don't really have power, right? Because people who do have power are going to tackle things in a different way. So when you think it over, You give it a night, you sleep over it, you get over with the aggression part of it, the anger part of it. Now comes how to deal with it. Now, once you've settled down the aggression of it, again, there could be two ways on how you can handle things. One, maybe you try and be the carefree person and you realize that not everything that people say to you is really for you. A lot of times, things that people say to you are their own defense mechanisms. Yes. So rather than it or these people showing you what you are weak in or deficient in, they're actually trying to cover up their own deficiencies and weaknesses. So, you just need to have sympathy with these people because they are finding reasons of not doing things uh, somewhere else, whereas it is actually within them, right? So, believe me, most of the times when people say things about you, it's really not about you. It's actually about what they are going through. So it is their own weakness that they're trying to cover up. But these are things that you learn with life, with your experiences. And if you haven't reached this phase in life, then this is the other way of saying it. So if you can't really just, sort of let it flow because it isn't your weakness, it is their weakness, then the other way to manage this is think of a response from your side which is productive, right? Everything can have a response which is non-productive. It means you might put your energy into it, you might put your time into it, but it doesn't really bring the best out of you. So we all need to think that we need to give a response which turns out to be a productive response, a response where the time and energy we spent is being spent on how to bring out our best when somebody tries to show where you're deficient in. So take it as a challenge, accept it as a challenge, and think that, why is it that I'm not able to go through? Let's think about what changes can I make so that I'm able to overcome these difficulties and I'm able to do what I really want to do, right? And once you sit down peacefully, it's a good idea to sort of make a list of things that you can do differently. Because, if you really want to overcome a challenge, something that you've not been able to do so far, believe me, you'll have to do things differently this time. Yes. And the moment you realize you need to do things differently, you need to have an introspection on what you have done so far, whether it is academics or it is a sports related query or it is, managing your home and so many other tasks, right? So you may not be the best at everything, but if you realize that you really can be the best and you want to be the best, then I think there is no stopping. So first write down things that you have done so far and then try and see the lacunae that they have. I'm sure you'll be able to find out small loopholes which you can plug in. And then gradually, when you are penning this thing down, you will know what you can do differently to get different results. So uh, which of these responses would I really take when something harsh is being said to me? So I'll just sort of summarize it. So when something harsh, something rude is being said to you, um, I would usually try and not give an immediate response because I believe the immediate response is of anger. It shows our weakness. It shows where people can again and again hurt you and sort of leave you defeated. So stay away from the initial response of anger. Second, try and be mature enough to understand that what people say to you is really not about you. It's about their own selves. They're trying to cover things up. They're trying to hide things up. They're trying to give explanations for their own deficiencies by putting someone else in that picture. And yet, as I said, if you haven't reached this phase, then the third way to tackle this is to accept harsh things that are are set to you, to accept them as a challenge and therefore find of productive ways to give a response. Things that you should do differently to get different results. So I hope this message sort of helps you if you were in a fix or in a similar kind of a situation, and next time you will not be jittery to handle such situations, and you'll be calm, you'll be composed, and you'll be wise enough to handle these arenas. Um, so I'm going to sign off with this message. And as I said, my this year podcasts are going to be in the form of replies to common questions sent to me by students. So if you are one of them who wants to have my version of what I would do in that situation, do write back to me. You can send a message to me on Instagram. That's the best place. You could also send an inbox to me on Anchor, where I upload these audio messages. Reach out to me with your daily queries, and I'll see. I'll sort of answer them one by one. It'll be gradual. I will not disclose your entities because I believe that there is this faith system that we work on, and I just want to address them on a platform where I could reach out to more people. So, all the very best, uh, buddies. And once again, wishing you a very, very happy, bright, healthy new year. Loads of love, Dr. Deepti.